Awesome. All right, perfect. Welcome everybody to another episode and a new season here on Birds on a Blue Note. I am joined today by partner Luke. He's going to be helping us out today. Welcome, Luke.
Ah,
So today we are going to jump into things. We've been off for a while, kind of revamping everything, getting more people joined on. Luke is going to be one of the people joining us a few times. We got a few others, including RJ and Zach, that will be catching up with us maybe later today, maybe another episode. But right now, just going to jump into things. Going to start off with that opening series against the Dodgers. Obviously, dropped three out of those four games, pulled away with one, had a little bit of a heartbreaker yesterday going into end of March, dropping that final one when we had that lead. Your thoughts on the series, Luke?
so starting off yesterday, that was tough. I don't think the Zach King was a smart move, in my opinion. I feel like we could have had a better option. He just came back up. Um, Game one, Glasnow. I mean, you can't really. He's good. That was the first game back, and the offense needs to pick it up. That's what I think.
They really do. And the nice thing is we started to see a little bit more of that going into the third and fourth games. Rain out really messed with us
Yeah,
third game. And to your point that going with King might not have necessarily been the right move, but
yeah,
we were forced out of moves. I mean,
that's true.
Lynn had zeros across the board, and while he did come into danger a few times, especially that first ending with bases loaded, man, you gotta love that attitude. I miss having that Lance Lynn on the team.
Yeah.
And I know he's one of our back end starters, but if we even get that from him, just, a third of his starts this year.
If we get what we had from Max and Lynn with Gray in there, I mean, I think we're pretty good.
And let's be real here, that Dodgers team is loaded. They get their money's worth, to say the least. Now,
That was just not fair.
if they're gonna come out with the championship, remains to be seen. Very athletic and prestigious teams have not been able to reach the finals before. This might end up being the best team that isn't a Mariners team if they don't
Jeez, yeah,
win. But I mean, there's only so much you can do. A rough first couple games. I never liked Mikolas starting off as opening day starter, but
neither. I
there's
mean,
not much you can do with Gray and Thompson on the road first start. I mean, at least
yeah,
he got us some innings. But again, that third game, that it all comes back to that rain delay because Lynn was going, he had the pitches, he could have eaten more innings. It was the smart move not to bring him back out there
yeah,
after such a long rain delay. Like if you do
mm-hmm,
that, you're just asking for that lineup to crush him one of his first pitches because he's only going to have so long to warm up before
yeah.
he's back out there. And
Who came out of the bullpen that game against Lynn with Lynn?
give me a sec here. Let's quickly take a look here. So,
I know Romero was one of them.
all right. Oh, that's what it was. So Libby came out after the
Okay,
Libby came out to face, went two innings but gave up two, and then Romero, then
got it.
Cambridge, Helsley blew the save, and that resulted in Gallegos having to come out and throw.
Yeah,
There's only so much a manager can do, and while I normally like to get on the knock Ollie train because there are plenty of questionable moves he has,
yeah,
if any of hindsight's 2020, if any of us are thrust into that, like if he throws out Lynn again, when he gets shelled, he gets, bombarded.
yeah.
Libby going out there,
At
it's one
this
of those
point, he
cases.
can't do anything right or wrong. He's just He's just in the hole until he can prove himself.
And it's against a basically
Exactly.
dollar line.
Dave Roberts, he's not the best manager either, but he has one of the best teams playing for him.
Dave Roberts is not a great in-game manager
Exactly.
at all. I will constantly go on the record saying that he's a very smart baseball mind, but he overthinks things
Yeah.
constantly, and it backfires on him when it matters in the playoffs. He can luckily get away with it during the regular season where there's a little more margin of error, especially with the talented teams the ownership's been giving him. But, you give that team to Ron Washington and they would have already had a couple of championships the last few years, in my
Definitely.
that man knows how to work a team, and
Yeah.
Tony. But anyways, so here we are. We're sitting 1-3 going into the Padres series tonight. Got to get some wins. Got to get that offense working, right? I mean, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts going into the series? What would you like to see against the Padres?
Gorman, definitely not three hole. He needs to. I would definitely switch Walker and Gorman. That's my opinion. Because I don't know. I feel like Walker's going to have that more power and he's going to get more pitches in front of Arenado. Last year, Goldschmidt and Arenado were back to back, but this year it's switched up. Something like that. I don't know.
I think you have to have those two back to back. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have a vet presence to put in between them. Like, you
Yeah.
have to get them pitches. And ultimately, if they have an out like Gorman, they're going to pitch around the two of those guys, target Gorman, get the out, and then work not
Yeah.
on whoever's coming up afterwards.
So do you like goalie batting second or do you want him third right before Arenado?
I want Goldie in that third spot, but
Yeah.
without Tommy in right now, you're just stuck in the spot with, who do you put up there in the two spot? Because it can't be Gorman.
Hmm.
He's not he's not getting on base enough. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
but
Scott
Scott
maybe
up
eventually. Yeah.
there, like,
It's too early for him to be up there.
exactly, like it's thrusting him into a situation. But sometimes, I mean, that's what these guys need to succeed. I mean, nobody saw him,
Hmm.
albeit there are a bunch of injuries, which we'll talk about in a
Yeah.
second. But you know,
Newbar, well, he could be, lead off or second it once he comes back Thursday. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see how things are going. Hopefully, we'll be getting some people back soon. But
yeah,
injury bug is definitely hitting us a bit right now. That's even why King got called back up.
yeah,
Another who was it? Brian O'Brien went down, right?
yeah. Did he come out of the game or is he just put on the injured list? I don't remember.
Yeah. I've been blacked out because I've been over here in SoCal,
Yeah,
so I've been catching the game wherever I can, little snippets,
I get
barks,
it.
whatnot. I didn't necessarily see the report, just that he went on with that strain, so who knows how long
Yeah,
he's gonna be down for. I mean, Edmund, word is that he might need another surgery,
yeah, I saw that.
so the man can't catch a break at
Mm-mm.
all. Um, I mean, it just is what it is. You're going to have to deal with injuries one way or another over the course of 162. Some teams get really lucky.
Yeah,
Others seem to have not the greatest luck. But I mean, one of the things that we do is we're usually good about getting good performances from guys that we call up, but we do need to have people stop chasing. I don't want to overreact or underreact yet because we faced the Dodgers. So,
exactly.
you don't want to be like, hey, the offense scored like no runs the first couple of games. That's okay. Because it's not. We needed to get more. Goldie's
Yeah,
the only one to get hits
they've been
per
chasing,
game. That can't
but
happen. Then
exactly. The
things like that
You
can't
got to give the
happen
credit to the
when,
Dodgers pitching, how
yeah.
nasty they are, but they need to pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody needs to have their role. I feel like a lot of this time it's been not having that identity. And when that happens, you get guys trying to do too much. When really, in reality, guys, like the reason why Scott is thriving is he knows his role.
Yep.
His job is to get on base, steal bases, and use his speed any way that he can.
That worked like yesterday. That's for sure.
Exactly. And that's the thing is when you have if you have somebody like him suddenly trying to hit for power,
Hmm.
or a guy like Walker who is truly more of a line drive hitter, solid hitter, trying to take it yard every single time, like you're going to end up swinging and missing, over guessing when really these guys got to where they are because they're really good at pitch recognition. They can see that ball coming in, it slows down for them, and they can recognize rotations and that. And you just got to go back to those instincts at times. And there is a lot of pressure in the show. Ultimately, you've got thousands of people watching you, screaming. You
Yeah.
can hear everything that's going on behind you,
So
everybody that's haranguing you, and you just got to tune that out and focus on what needs to be done. And again, if you try to do too much, these pitchers are major leaguers. They recognize that desperation and they'll throw you that breaking curveball that looks like it's gonna hang. And like you said with
yeah,
Josh now, he was just getting everybody to bite because he's like, all right, if you guys are gonna just keep swinging at these pitches, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got a lot of good close calls, but they were effective and they were taking advantage of the calls they were getting and making us
yeah.
chase. You just can't
Then
give them extra outs.
another thing, going back on Walker hitting for power, you can see that in his swing. I mean, one of those reporters saw it like he's trying to lunge more and his shoulder and hip rotation's messed up because he's hitting for power. He just needs to start off with contact and see where it goes from there.
I mean, it's part of it's the game that we're in now where people praise home runs less
Yeah.
than batting average and on base percentage.
He just
Ultimately,
needs some confidence, then he can try to go for that power. That's
yeah,
what I think.
you don't need to go for power when you're in this game again over 162. There's going to be enough mess ups where if
Yeah.
you just wait and you are a good hitter and you're slapping things, you're going to force pitchers to throw you stuff that they don't want to throw. But when you're desperate, they get to throw what they want to throw. And that's when pitchers are deadly.
Yeah.
That's when Lynn got to that point against the Dodgers. He was throwing what he wanted to throw. He was striking them out. He was getting them to pop up. You know, it, these pitchers, even the worst major league pitcher, when they're on, they can throw a no hitter if they really are feeling it and they have
Yeah.
everything
It's
working for them.
mainly just mental. That's the thing. You
Well,
can't get in your head.
it's mental and how much is the other team willing to give you
Exactly.
at the end of the day. If they're going to keep biting on everything,
Hmm.
everybody in baseball's got a good and wonderful ego for a reason. They've got and they know what they're doing. I
Yeah.
mean,
And a team like the Dodgers, they have, if someone's doing bad, they bring in one of their bench players and they're
well,
good. It's like they're stacked. You can't,
and that's the thing is they don't have to worry, their players don't have to worry about one person being the hero.
exactly.
So they can just go up there and be like, okay, I'm going to look for whatever good pitch I get. Whereas with us, we're trying to pick our pitches and everything. It's like, no, if you get that nice juicy fastball down the middle or that breaking ball first pitch and it just looks perfect and you haven't lined up, swing for it. There's no
Yeah.
sense in getting yourself behind on a count or anything if you can rope it. I mean, yes, we want to build up counts, but if they're gonna give you that mistake on the first pitch, you have to take advantage of this level because you might not get another mistake, especially against a rotation like that is solid, basically one through
Yeah.
five. You're not getting a hole in that. So
I feel like, I mean, the Padres still have a good rotation, but I have a feeling we're going to see the offense pick it up.
I sure hope so. This can't be a recurring trend. Again, this
Yeah.
is one of the things where it's okay with the Dodgers for one series to start off, but
Hmm.
ultimately it can't be something that's happening the entire time there. Otherwise, this is not going to be a good season
No.
real fast. So this Padres series is going to be a good measure because I think they're a team that we can match up well against. They're going to be a team that we're going to be fighting for a wild card spot with. So these games do mean a lot. And really, we get to see what we're going to get from Gibby. They're at the back end of their rotate, or I think they restarting their rotation tonight.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
fifth. So, do you think
We get
once
Weldon. Okay.
Greg comes back, is it going to be 6 man or 5? Because they were thinking about the 6.
It's gonna depend on where things are at,
Hmm.
honestly. I mean, if you have everybody throwing well and Gray comes back,
Yeah,
why knock Matz, Litton, or Gibby down, or even Thompson? If they're all doing well, and you're not gonna
exactly.
send Mix to the pen. That just doesn't. He's
Yeah,
not a pen guy. You need him for the innings, but maybe he gets pushed back in the rotation ultimately. And that's just where it's going to come down to the flow and what we can get out of everybody and everything. So, I mean, with that being said, where do you think we project this season at the end of the season? Rough
everyone's thinking
record.
low, but I'm thinking the 85 to 90. I think we have it in us.
Okay. Do you think that's good enough for first, or are we shooting for wild card in the division?
The Brewers, they pretty much just cleared out their team almost. They still have some core players, but they also got that what's that one prospect? Um, can't think of it, but they have a good team. The Cubs, they signed Bellinger back, and I can't say
That's not
even
really addition. That's the same.
exactly. Then that one
That's
pitcher, the Japanese,
the
he's
Monaga.
good. Yeah, I feel like we're definitely gonna be top two. I think we got it. I think we're NL Central champions.
Okay. I mean, it really depends on how this season
Yeah.
plays out. But if our guys stay healthy, I can see us being back to like 93
Oh yeah.
wins like we were just a couple of seasons ago. Our actual batting lineup is better than it was a couple of years ago. And
Definitely.
I would say our pitching is maybe just as good, if not better, than that team was. It's just about the performance. The offense has to be hitting, and we need to be getting outs to keep our bullpen safe. So, really will be a question of where I just see us more fighting for a wild card ultimately with
Yeah,
where
I can
that
see that.
that NL West is going to be heavy. And so if we're not winning the Central, it's going to be tough. But we'll see where it gets once we get to the Central games. I mean, those are,
So who do you think is our number one competitor in the Central?
I mean, it's really close ultimately. I think it's going to be the Reds or the Cubs,
I was thinking about that too.
our number one competition. I don't think the Reds have the vet presence to get through a full season. I think they're gonna have spurts
Hmm.
where have spurts where they're doing really well, kind of like they did last year, where they go on little runs and everything, and Ellie gets hyped up. But ultimately, they can't really sustain that. They don't have the rotation or the depth if they do
Yeah.
to get injuries. And as far as the Cubs go, Monaga is okay, but they didn't really improve, in my opinion. If anything,
Yeah. Plus Steele's out. So they lost, on the starter. They gained one, but they lost one pretty much. Because Steele's gonna be out for I think a while.
yeah. So I mean, it remains to be seen, but yeah, it's set to be for a while. So it's really going to be interesting to see where we end up. If we can just take even 2 out of 3 from the Padres this week, I
Yeah.
will be very happy going back to 3-3, 500.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait, 3-4.
Three
That
and
close.
four, yeah.
Three and
That was my prediction since the beginning. I said 3 and 4. I think we can do it.
I mean, I think we can too. I don't see why not, but we can't be heading back home
So
when,
there's one concern I have.
yeah.
If we're short on our, bullpen, like they're already going down, we built this bullpen to do innings because you know what I mean? Like we built a strong bullpen to take away from these starters this year. That's one concern I have.
Well, no, it was more we got the starters to take innings off of the bullpen, so that way where we need them. But
Okay,
I
yeah.
mean, they had a day off, so guys are going to be rested. Guys didn't pitch yesterday because, or well, they didn't pitch on, yeah, they didn't pitch yesterday because of
Yeah.
everything and whatnot. So they've
I
had a
see
day off, and so they
Lynn.
should be rested. But I would love the offense to just turn up today
Yeah. But
and put this in the bag so that way it's not
definitely.
even close. Because you don't know what you're gonna get from Gibby. So if his slider is working like it was in that tune-up game for spring training, it
Yeah.
should be a fun night for us. But not gonna hold my breath. I got my drink already going to get ready for that. And you know,
Yeah.
gotta be ready.
See, I see we got Lynn and Gibson for the inning eaters, but Gray, I can see he's getting a little older. I don't know how deep he's gonna go in games, especially after this injury. But Thompson and Matz, they're not really known to go deep into games. So that's where I was saying our bullpen needs to pick it up.
That's true. But Thompson's gonna be out of there once
Yeah.
once
Gray.
Gray comes
Yeah,
back.
that's true.
Unless they're both turning it up. So it just
Exactly.
remains to be seen. But I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
Season started and we're off to the races already. At least we got the best team in the league out of the way first for a
Yeah.
bit. Still have a few more games against them later this year, but again, knocking this out now. I kind of like it because it gets our guys competitive right away, versus starting with like a slower team where they can kind of take it more, be like, oh, this is spring training plus.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you guys were in pouring rain, fighting some of the best pitchers.
Then the
So,
Dodgers already had 2 games to warm up, which you can put it kind of as an advantage, but still.
no, it is, but they also gave up 15 runs in one of those games. So to act
Yeah.
like they didn't have hiccups as well
Yeah.
is an understatement. Those things can happen, and I mean, how many times have we seen the Rockies, for example, jump off to like a huge
Yeah.
start to the year and then just fall off completely? And other teams too. It's just the Rockies seem to always have it happen the last few decades, but
I don't see them starting off hot this
no,
year.
definitely not. Not gonna happen. But it just seems like a thing that they like to do is they start off hot and then as the rest of the West heats up,
Yep.
they fall off. So it's a marathon ultimately. And if you try to sprint at the beginning, you're gonna run out of gas. So I do like the not trying to go all in approach, but we do need to get wins quickly. And yeah, losing those stingers like the ones that we had yesterday, or even having to go into extras when we had a clear advantage,
Yeah.
that just hurts. But anyway, so that'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for joining me, Luke.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it. We will catch you next time on Birds in a Blue Note. I hope you guys enjoy this upcoming series against the Padres, and we'll see you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take
See
care.
ya. It stopped.